Welcome back to From Islands to United States of America, Faith, Teaching, and Transformation. I'm Father Doc, and today I just want to talk about something many of us desperately need: perseverance. Everyone has dreams, everyone wants to be somewhere better, but most people stay stuck not because of lack of vision, not because of lack of talent, but because they never take action and never persevere. I know so many Filipino professionals who feel discouraged because they don't have enough resources to achieve their dreams. As a result, they feel stuck financially, emotionally, and even spiritually. But I want to remind you today, perseverance is what we need. It is the bridge between where you are right now and where God is calling you. And I can say this with confidence because I have lived it. In most cases, people won't dare to start a business or change careers unless they already have the assurance, the funding, the resources, the money to fund the entire process. And to be honest, that is the most intelligent way of doing things, the smart way. Even our Lord Jesus Christ taught us the importance of knowing the cost of our actions. So in the Gospel of St. Luke, chapter 14, from verse 28 to 32, he compared it to a wise tower builder or a king preparing for war, reminding us that planning and strategy is very, very important. But I would say this, sometimes you have to get out of the boat and trust God to experience the miracle of walking on water, just like what St. Peter did. As we read in Matthew chapter 14, verse 22 and 23. So I would say success and extraordinary breakthroughs are reserved for the bold, those who step out of their comfort zone and dare to pursue their dreams no matter what. I love the saying, destiny is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. It is not a thing to be waited for. It is a thing to be achieved. And yes, it comes with a very hefty price. So when I began the journey of applying for teaching job in the United States, we had nothing. No savings, no financial cushion, not even a plan. Every last bit of our resources had already been poured into my dream of becoming a lawyer. I was a second year law student that time. By all logical reasoning, it seemed it was impossible. But God is an awesome God. He is Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides. When I had nothing, He made a way. He provided me with resources. I took action before the resources were there, trusting that provision would come as I moved forward every step of the way. I sold what little we had, my personal computer, my motorbike, even personal belongings, just to cover, for instance, the TOEFL exam, the English proficiency test, and the embassy interview fees in the US dollars, the US embassy in Manila. And still, it wasn't enough. So I humbled myself, lowered my pride, my ego, and borrowed money to gather my documents and requirements. I took each step one at a time, not knowing how the next would be funded. And looking back, I see that God was there every step of the way. The provision did not come before I started. It came because I started. It's a big difference there. So sometimes we wait for resources before we act. But the truth is this: faith moves first and provision follows. The Bible tells us in James, book of James, chapter 1, verse 12, blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Very beautiful promise. So perseverance doesn't mean the absence of struggle. It means pushing forward in the middle of it. It means refusing to quit, even when resources run out. If I had given up, I would still be in the Philippines, probably teaching, physics classes, or, move up to as an adjunct professor, or maybe, I already became a lawyer. But wondering what might have been, my life would be without stepping forward. But by God's grace, perseverance carried me further than I could have ever imagined. Many Filipino professionals or teachers nowadays face the same challenges that I once faced. Not enough money to pursue their goal, limited opportunities in the Philippines, family pressure that sometimes push us to just settle instead of striving. And I understand the discouragement. I understand the nights praying, asking God, why, Lord? Why is life so hard or difficult? But here's the truth. Here's the truth. Your current lack does not define your future. Your perseverance will. So take a leap and start the process. Write your resume. Submit your application. Don't worry about the money yet or the resources. Act in faith and let provision follow. So how do we persevere when resources are lacking? Let me tell you some lessons from my own journey, from my personal experience. Number one, you have to be resourceful. Don't wait for a perfect conditions. Start with what you have. It costs nothing to write a resume. You start Googling, searching online. Begin learning how to teach in the US. Educate yourself with, classroom management and the culture in America. Find mentors and networks. God often sends people to open doors for you. Teachers, colleagues, pastors, priests, became could become an instrument in your life, could become the person that would open the door for you. Don't isolate yourself. Seek guidance and build connections. Build your network. Today you have the World Wide Web, you have social media, and you even have me. That's why I started this podcast, to mentor and support anyone willing to step forward. Number 3 lesson, lean on faith and prayer. Pray hard. When money ran out, prayer kept me going. When doors were closed, God reminded me that He is the one who makes a way. From dreaming of becoming a lawyer to teaching here in the United States, perseverance is not just human effort, it is faith anchored in God's promise. Number 4, sacrifice with purpose. Perseverance will cost you something. I gave up comfort, work, extra jobs, and focused on education because I knew it was my way out. Sacrifice makes sense when you have vision. My perseverance took me from the Philippines to the United States, from survival to success. But none of these milestones came overnight. They were the fruit of perseverance, of refusing to give up when everything in life told me to quit. I share more of this story in my book, I Am Who I Am. It is my testimony of how perseverance, faith, and vision transform my life. And I'll post the direct link so you can order it. If you're struggling with discouragement, if you feel like giving up, I encourage you to read this book. My story is a proof that God's grace combined with perseverance can change trajectory of your life. So my friends, I know life can be hard. I know resources can be scarce. But I want to leave you with this truth. Your lack of resources is not the end. It's just a test. Poverty cannot kill a God given dream. Hardship cannot silence ambition. The only thing that can stop you is you, yourself, giving up and doing nothing. So today, I encourage you persevere. Keep going. Take one more step. Trust God and let Him turn your perseverance into purpose. Thank you once again for joining me for this episode from Islands to United States of America, Faith, Teaching, and Transformation. If this message encouraged you, please share it with friends who may be discouraged. Subscribe for a weekly episode. Follow me as we continue this journey of faith, teaching, and inspiration. And I hope by listening to the podcast, you'll be encouraged to keep moving. Again, this is Father Doc. Have a nice day and more blessings to you and your family. Bye.